Hey guys, welcome to tonight's CapCut training. I am super excited about it because you guys, I know I love editing with CapCut. I have a lot of things to show us tonight. I'm going to be working through different variations to just show you some basics. Don't worry, if you're already got through the basics, then you can join us on Wednesday for a little bit deeper training, but be ready to just cover basics and kind of go into it tonight. So if you will, just bear with me and we will get started in just a moment. I'm going to pause this recording so that we can let people in. So just one moment. All right. So for those of you who do not know, I use CapCut for every bit of my video editing. CapCut for me is the better platform. And I know who knows if we're going to lose it in April when supposedly we're going to lose TikTok again. But I think that CapCut is one of the better editing tools. I've tried InShot. I've tried a couple different tools. I just really like CapCut for the ease, the templates, because a lot of times the templates inside of CapCut go along with trends that are already happening. And so tonight, I just want to cover the basics for you. This is a two-part training. We're doing part 2 on Wednesday, where we're going to go a little bit deeper. So hey to all my society sisters. I see y'all dropping in the chat. Tell us how you're doing. But for those of you that need a training that's a little bit visual with kind of going through the basics, that's what tonight is. If you edit on your phone, a lot of this training is still going to be just as good for you. If you edit on a computer, of obviously that's what I'm doing tonight, or your iPad. Like I said, I could not get my iPad and the Zoom screen sharing to work. It usually does. Couldn't get it to work tonight. So I'm glad I tested it out in advance. But so I'll be sharing CapCut from my desktop. And then once you guys, like I said, if you have questions, we can go a little bit deeper in the mobile version, but it's very similar. There's not a lot of differences, okay? All right. I'm going to get into screen share so you guys can see it, just so you know I'm moving stuff around so I can see, okay? All right, let me share my screen. All right, somebody drop something in the chat. Let me know you can see my screen okay. I have chat pulled up to the side. Yes, awesome, thank you, can see it. So this is the CapCut desktop version. Now, as you guys know, I absolutely love, you can see here, I love editing things here because it just makes it a little bit easier when you're trying to edit a bunch of things. Things that we're going to go into later, later this week on Wednesday is obviously long video to shorts. If you have not used that, it is awesome. There's also a record screen. So if you're wanting to teach something, you no longer have to use Zoom and then have to worry about coming in here and editing it later. And then there's also script to video, which is something we'll talk about as well. But in general, I absolutely love using this. Now, y'all know I answer questions on the fly. So if a question comes up, I'm going to answer it. And so Trey says, how do we get videos from our phone app to the desktop? So there are two ways to do that. The first way is if you have CapCut Pro on your phone, you're going to need to make it available in the cloud. So that is, I'm trying to remember where it's at on here, my spaces. So that would be here, your space, they're on the cloud and you can download them here. If you are, what I do a lot of times with my photos and videos, I actually just put them in a shared folder. If you have a, let me clarify, if you have a an Apple products, meaning you have a Mac and an iPhone, then in your photos folder, I just sync my photos so that it's easy. But make sure that you log in on your phone and your desktop. Make sure that you're logged in here, okay? That's very important, okay, y'all? All right, so I already set up some things for us to kind of go through. I've got a couple little blank ones that we're gonna play with tonight, different videos, talking to camera, not talking to camera. And we're just gonna kind of, like I said, cover the basics, go through editing, and then at the end, save time for questions. One of the biggest things a lot of people ask me about is they love the little slow zoom effect. So we're gonna cover that tonight and make sure y'all understand that as well. We're also going to go through, of course, adding text and captions. One of the things I love, if you have not seen my page lately, I have been editing both inside of Instagram and inside of CapCut. And I have found a font that looks almost the same in both. So that makes it a lot easier. I don't worry about people being like, oh, where did she edit this video at? And then we're also going to talk through some transitions, adding audio, because you guys know we love to do voiceovers now, and you might want to light audio in the background. We're going to talk through adjusting your speed of your videos, adding overlays, and also just some basic adjustments like color adjustments, filters, things like that. And we're going to end on a high note with the slow zoom effect and exporting your video correctly, okay? And again, if you miss anything, this is being recorded. If you're in the society, you will have the replay. So let's dive in. So I thought this was going to be hilarious. So first off, when you open up, well, hold on. Let me make sure that it continues. Let me stop share and reshare, because when I open a project, it stops sharing. I learned that the other day. All right, resharing now. It should be showing the project that I just opened up. And this is actually a funny set of videos from our time at Disney with my kids. If you guys missed that, any tips or things that I showed, you definitely need to pay attention to this. But anyways, my favorite thing at Disney is the popcorn. I could eat their popcorn all day, every day. And so I have two little clips here. And so once I have imported them, I didn't wait to import because sometimes it takes a long time. But once you import them, and you can just hit this little import button and you can choose more videos, or you could record right inside of the app. But I like to import them. Once I have imported them, I'm just going to drag them over here to edit. And so I could reposition them, meaning I could have this one first. I could have it second. I'm going to zoom in a little bit here so it's a little bit tighter. But as you guys can see here in the editor, I'm just going to go through the things that I'm seeing in the editor once I've added video, okay? First and foremost, this button is very important. If you know nothing else, you need to know this button. It looks like two little brackets pointing away from each other, but that is called the split tool. So basically that means if you are editing a video and you're like, oh, I don't want to show this part of it, I'm going to hit split, and I can split it, and then I can split it again, and you just are splitting the video up. So let's just say I don't want this piece of me shoving it in my mouth. I'll just hit delete, and now that is gone. So you can absolutely use the split tool when you're trying to trim a video. It's a lot easier than trying to slide it backwards. Y'all see this? I'm sliding this, just putting my my cursor over the end, and I can slide it backwards. I can slide it forwards. Yes, you can do that. But a lot of times when you're trying to clip something in the middle, you need to split it and get rid of it, okay? So that's the splitting tool. There's also the delete left, delete right tool. So if I was here on this clip and I wanted to delete the first half, I would just hit delete right, and it deleted the right side of it, or delete left and it deleted the beginning part. So if you know you already want to delete it and you want to take a step out of that, these two options are good for you. You can also add a marker anywhere. Like if you know that's something that you want to add here, you can add a marker there, and that's going to help you remember, okay, this is where I want my text to go, things like that, okay? We're going to go over the freeze on the next training, but reverse is something I did want to cover. So if you have a video and you want to swap it, which getting dressed is a great one to do like that, you just pop your video in, hit reverse. It will take a little while to reverse the clip, but not too long. And now the clip is just backwards. So if I was to hit play, let me turn the volume down on it real quickly. Audio volume. So if I was to hit play, now it's just going backwards, and you can tell by the people in the video walking backwards now and me eating the popcorn backwards. So that is also a really cool technique, and we're gonna kind of walk through that a little bit more with a getting ready outfit later on. Mirror, we'll go through that a little bit more on Wednesday. Rotate. This is just basically turning your video. If you were to import it and it was wrong, we'll go through that. We'll also go through ratio. I do have a video we're going to transform from big to small. So good questions. Oh, question came up. Does CapCut work without internet connection? No, you do need to be connected to the internet for CapCut. You can, I believe you can edit outside of internet connection, but to export and all that, you do need to be connected to the internet. So really good question there. I think that's all the basics that I wanted to cover over here. This is one track magnet. Basically, when you delete, it's automatically going to shift the videos together. If you turn that off, I don't know why you would. It just means that if you delete something, it's not going to go together. So again, those are most of the basics. For the video itself, I do want to cover these basics just so that you guys know. But let's just say starting with this video, obviously, look how cute my popcorn bucket is. Hold on. Are these features in CapCut Pro or also the free version? These are all available in the free version, the things that I'm showing in the tools. When you see little things like this diamond icon that has like a star beside it, those features are paid features. So you'll see like stabilize as we go through. There's like eye contact is now free, but you know, removing flickers is a pro feature. So whenever you're in the desktop version or the app version, if you see the little diamond with the check mark, it's purple. That is a pro feature, meaning if you use it, you will not be able to download the video. So really, really good question on the pro features. Again, after this call, if you want to try out Pro, I'll give you the link. I pay $9.99 a month, which is cheaper than what some people pay. So y'all let me know. I got the back end to get on the $9.99 a month too. Yeah, a lot of these things, whether you're in your phone, a lot of people just don't know that they're there. They've seen them and they don't know what they do. So really good question. So first and foremost, we're going to go over the video like basics. So you guys see I'm doing it here on the side, but if you were with your phone, you would just pinch the video and make it bigger. But here in the desktop version, if I wanted to make this bigger, the whole thing, now keep in mind, it's all one clip, then I could just zoom that way and also take it back out and be like, that's too big. And then you'll see here, I can also scale it. So it just depends on what you like to do. I like to fit mine in. So I like to use the little four corners, but if you can also use the scale version over here as well. Another thing too, that is a paid feature is the auto removal of the background. So let's just say I wanted just the popcorn bucket. Well, actually, it's just gonna take my hand. See, you really want to use custom removal, but now the thing is you got to be a little bit more accurate in your drawing to try to fit around all of this. Background remover is one of my features that I do like. However, I usually when it's a person, which we'll go into that in a minute, the auto removal is better, but there is a custom removal for where you draw it. And now it'll process it and then just you'll see little pieces of the popcorn bucket that's still there. Obviously we're not going to keep it, but let's just hold on. What did I choose? Custom removal. One second. Apply. There we go. But you see how some of it's still there? So I would have to go through. If you were wanting to do this, you obviously could crop it, but definitely you could go through and just keep pieces of the video. It's a lot easier when you're trying to remove like the background from a person, talking head. But that's another feature that you can use, and we'll go through that a little bit more on Wednesday. Obviously, the audio. For the most part, when I'm doing little videos like this, like let's just say I was just using this first part, I don't want this audio. So what I will do is there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can just turn the volume down. Obviously now there's no volume to it. If I want to mute the whole video, this is in your phone, wherever you're editing. If you're like, I don't want any sound from this video, at the beginning, you just hit mute track. And now the whole track is muted. I don't know why I went back and took my video back. Okay, cool. Now it's there. All right, so now we've removed all of the sound. So that's another piece I wanted to show you guys. Speed. Let's just say on this video, it's going way too slow and I want to speed it up. So in your phone, I like editing speed in my phone a little bit more. However, it's still good over here. You can speed it up to 100x. Let's just say we're going to speed it up to 5. So you see how it shortened the video already. And now it's made me eating my popcorn really fast, okay? So this part is slow, and then me eating the popcorn is really fast. You could also, if you need to, slow your video down. A lot of times when you're editing a video, let's just delete this part real quick. Let's just say this is all you have is the popcorn bucket, and you're wanting to put some text over it, and you're like, it's only 3 seconds. I really would like for it to be 5 seconds to be a reel. So I would just select that piece of the video, go into speed, and slow it down to about 0.6. And now we've got a little bit over 5 seconds. So still really good video, still can put words on top of it, and I've slowed it down. So just, again, that's some simple basics with working with speed and doing those things, okay? Now, I'm going to go into animations. I'm going to just go into text. Well, let's go to audio first. So this is a question that comes up a lot when I'm doing trainings is I want to put some audio in the background and do a voiceover. Great. I love doing that. I do it all the time. So when you are in here, of course, yes, there are lots of audios that are paid pro audios, but there are also free music that you can select as well. When you're doing the filter for the free music, it's different on your phone. It lets you select filter, but you can also select commercial. Commercial is going to mean that it has been set up to be used if you're running a paid ad or something like that. You want to make sure you're using commercial. For this, I'm just going to pick, let's see what this sounds like. Just going to pick one that doesn't have a pro feature on it. Okay, no, I'm not. That didn't sound cool. That sounds cool. All right, so we're going to add that. Now, obviously, this is a piece I forget all the time. Make sure your bar is set to where you want the music to add. And if not, just drag it back to where you want it to start. So let's just say this is what we have. All right, right there as the video ends, I might slide it back just slightly. I'm going to select on the music and I'm going to split it. And then I'm going to delete the extra music, okay? Now, turn this music down. It does not need to be this loud, y'all. So you'll see how high the bars are, whether it's loud or not. All right, not loud at all. Sounds really good. Now, if you are doing a voiceover, let's just say I'm gonna talk about my favorite snack at Disney. At the beginning, we're still going to go back to audio. Hold on, it's going to voice change. Nope. Let me double check and make sure I'm in the right spot for here. We're going to here, microphone, sorry. The voiceover is different. In your phone, at the bottom, it will be voiceover, which is why I wanted to edit in my iPad. At the bottom where you add sounds, there's going to be a little, it looks the same. It's going to have the same little microphone, but that's where you're going to add voiceover. So let's just do one. We're going to select voiceover. Now on your phone, if you hit start, it will give you a 3 countdown. I believe it gives you a 3-second countdown here as well. So let's just test it out. It does, but I did not see any countdown. So let me redo that one. Let me close this out. All right, so we're gonna hit the voiceover again. And let me get started. 3, 2, 1. I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. Stop. And then we're going to close it out. And let's see how it sounds. I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. Now, would I absolutely say that? Probably not. But let's just say I said that. So now I have a voiceover, I have some light background, and I'm listening to make sure that the audio from this is not overpowering my voiceover, that they can hear it clearly. A lot of times when I'm doing voiceovers, I like to use a microphone. That makes it super crisp and super clear. So if you do have a microphone that you can use, I recommend doing that for voiceovers. Now that I have done a voiceover, one of the things I also really like to do is obviously captions. Now with captions, I know you can put the basic captions in. Like for instance, this caption is not a pro feature. I want to show it to y'all because it's not pro. I absolutely love popcorn. So what I would do is select the caption and then hit generate captions. And while that's doing, I'm going to answer a question. It says, if you have a mic, a lavalier, can you record audio on your laptop or would you need to import it from your phone? It just depends on what your connection is for your microphone. So for instance, my microphone, which I don't have, is still packed up in the things I took to Disney. But it has a USB-C connector. So I can put the USB-C connector into my computer and use it that way. If you have a Bluetooth microphone, then you can also connect it via Bluetooth to your computer. But if you have a certain type of connector that's not available on your computer, then you would need to go about it a different way. Okay, does that make sense, Maisha? And then I'll answer your second question, which was, should we put captions over every single voiceover video? No, you don't have to put them on every single voiceover video, but one of the ways I look at it is there's a lot of people who are watching and not listening. And so even if it's not like a video where I want the voiceover to, I want the caption to be big, I'm more focused on the video, I may still put it really small. Or you can turn it on in Instagram to where they do the auto captions. They're not as easy to read to me, so I'd rather put my own captions on there. But I do think just in general, for including other disabilities, having captions is a really good idea. So we're gonna look at these and we're gonna edit them just so y'all can see that. I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. All right, it's super basic. It's probably not the one I would use. I'll be honest, I'm really into this one right now. We'll look at that later, but it is a pro feature. But inside of the captions, I can edit this. So if I'm like, I absolutely love, and then I can make popcorn at Disney a separate line, I just hit enter. So this is absolutely, and then make my favorite snack, like a separate line. So you can absolutely change up your captions, change it. And this is why I like editing here versus editing on my phone. It's easier with the captions. There's also how do I want it to look? So when I'm here in the styles, sorry, I know it's going fast. When I'm here in the styles, if I want it to have a background, I can change that. If I want it to have, whatever I want it to look like, I can change that pretty easy here. You can also change out the size. You can change out what font that you're using. So you can do that all right here inside of the app. And one of the things I love most is like I said, with Maisha, I don't want my captions to be massive in size. I just want them to be there. So once I change it, it is going to group them all together. So please know, if you edit this last one, all of them are going to be aligned in the same position. So please keep that in mind. I have tried a couple different hacks to change that, and it's just not an easy change. So keep in mind, wherever you put your captions at, that's where they're going to be for the entirety of the video, okay? I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. All right, so boom, captions are on. And I love what Lisa said. Think of accessibility. People with disabilities can access your content. And there are hearing impaired, there are vision impaired, which I'm going to talk about in just a minute too. If you guys have not noticed, all of my videos now, the words on the videos are black and white. For one, I saw issues myself where my colors just weren't showing up well. Since changing to black and white, I feel like I've had a lot more interaction and engagement with my videos. And even with my clients who use different brand colors, we just pop on a different color on their cover photo to keep their aesthetic, but all of their videos, we are using black and white to make it as accessible as possible. So really good questions and really good feedback for content. As you can see, a lot of these really cool, unique captions, these are absolutely pro versions. And so if you don't have pro, just keep that in mind when you're getting ready to pick which caption you're going to use. And then, like I said, you can change out the styles over here. Now, another piece, and I just told you guys this, I love this feature. It has saved me so much time. But let's just say all your videos, clarify, make sure y'all see me, all your videos need a hook. Why is someone watching this video? So you're going to just add a default text, and I'm going to put on top of it for this video, my favorite snack at Disney. And obviously over here, I can just kind of make it fit. One of the things I see people do a lot of times is they'll have one word on the second line. And it's just not symmetrical, y'all. If I could give you any piece of advice, symmetry matters a lot with visuals. So try your best, like I said, to try to make it somewhat symmetrical, even if it's just adding an extra word to that line. And I told you guys there was a font. It is a pro font. However, there is a font, and I'm going to scroll down to it. I can search for it. It's called Ingenious. I don't know if that's how you say it. ING, Ingenious. That's what we're going to say. To me, it looks just like the font inside of Instagram. That is the Lord, I just had the name of it in my head. Hold on, I'll tell you exactly what it's called because my brain doesn't want to work right this second. It is called Poster. So I'll show you guys an example, but I have been using this a lot and I don't feel like it's causing issues for people not knowing which one I'm using to edit. So now I do go to style and I will give it a background. I feel like your hook needs to really stand out. So I usually do give it a background, either white on black, or I would either do, depending on what the video looks like. So this is another piece where you're having to play and see which works for your video. And if you're using brand colors, you can also do that too. This is not to say that you can't use brand colors, but if you are deciding to use brand colors, I have found editing inside of CapCut is going to be better visually for your brand than trying to edit outside of CapCut, because inside of Instagram, it may play with your colors because Instagram prefers your video to be in HD and not in 4K. And a lot of us, when we record, wind up having 4K. We'll get into that on Wednesday, so don't worry. But let's just say this was my hook, my favorite snack at Disney. And depending on how long your video is, this video is only 5 seconds. So I could have the hook on screen for the full video. I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. So the hook stays on screen for the whole video. That's absolutely fine. However, if the video was longer, I may only have the hook on for like 3 seconds and then let it go into the captions. And I do this a lot with speaking reels. We're going to look at those in just a second. But I think in general, this having your hook on for about 3 to 5 seconds is a just general good rule of thumb, okay? And again, hooks, if at all possible, are at the top of your video. And I know that Instagram has expanded the layout feature, so you now have a little bit more wiggle room. But in general, I usually like to leave somewhere between this much space above the top of the words. I'm never going to put it way up here. I'm going to try to bring it down, you know, where the video is still visual. I may cut off my head sometimes if I'm speaking and I didn't leave enough room. But that's something we'll also talk about. And then I may, because I have a hook, I may take the caption and move it down a little bit further. Obviously, I don't want to get into where my name and things are going to be covered up. But in general, now you can see the popcorn bucket fully. I absolutely love popcorn at Disney. This is absolutely my favorite snack. But yes, so you could leave this on for the entirety of the video and you're good to go. Okay. So that's one of my favorite text hacks. There are a couple, like I said, classical that looks also like the classic text, but it's also a pro version. So you just want to play around. System is one that's as basic as it gets, but so it's also okay if you decide to use a font like that. For me, I'm very much visuals matter to me. So I really love that the Ingenious looks like that poster and looks like the font that I use on a lot of my content, okay? And again, I don't use a lot of animation with it. If you want to, you can. You kind of see how that pops up. For me, your hook needs to already be on the screen. If you want to use that with other words that are popping up, that's fine. But your hook should not be floating in. You have 1 to 2 seconds to capture people's attention with the words on your screen. And if you don't, they're switching on to the next one. So this was just a really good example about how to be able to take your videos, pop words on it, pop captions in, and make sure that you're clear on that. Now, real quick, before I switch over to another project, because I really want to show you guys this feature, are there any questions about hooks, where they should go, how to add them, how to add captions, how to add sound, any of that? And you can either raise your hand or drop it in the chat. Okay, struggle with hooks and coming up with them. Oh, yeah. So, Chandria, a lot of people struggle with hooks. What I like to think through is what in 2 seconds is gonna want to make them watch this video. We have a hooks training inside of the society. So if you're not in there, girl, come on over. You got a 14-day free trial. But in general, hooks are one of the things that once you get it, your videos will start getting more traction. Patricia said, should the hook stay on screen the entire video? It depends. Y'all, it really depends. If the video is a minute long and you don't need that hook on, you don't need that on there the whole video. A great example of that, I'll show y'all some examples when we finish. But no, the hook does not need to be on the video for the entirety of the video. But it does need to be on there long enough for me to understand what the video is about. I've seen hooks that are too short, meaning you had it on there for 2 seconds and I couldn't read through all of it. And so I just swapped onto the next video anyway, okay? Really good question. All right, y'all, let me stop share for just a moment so I can click over to the other video. This one is a question that comes up quite often. Y'all will not believe how often I get this question. And that is, I have a landscape video and I want to turn it into a to fit for social media. So there's a couple ways to do this in your phone or here on the desktop platform, but you're basically looking for this ratio. So once you see this ratio, and again, it's on your phone as well, you're going to click on that and you're going to go down to the 9:16. Excuse me, y'all. 9:16 is where you want to crop it to make it a reel. Now, not to confuse you guys. However, I don't know if people are creating the carousels where you're adding a video in your carousel. If you were adding a video in your carousel, you would select 3:4, which is right below 9:16. I will cover that a little bit deeper for you guys, but just know if you're making a video that's going to be a reel, it's 9:16. If you're making a video that's going to be in a carousel, it's 3:4. And this is also added into your workbook that I'm going to share with you guys on tomorrow, okay? All right, so I'm making it 9 by 16, obviously, because I want this to be a reel. This is the video of us telling our kids we're going to Disney. And sorry for my junky car, but I have kids, so I don't really care. It's life. So what I would do now that I have it, because this is the question that comes up a lot too, is I don't want this black screen around the video. So what I would do is stretch this video out to fit the full screen. And what I can do is, let's just say I'm starting with my daughter. So we're going to walk through this. Hold on. Yes, I have some bad news. We have about 2 more hours to drive to get to our hotel. So I'm going to split here. Is that okay? And then on this piece, I'm going to pull it back into my son's view. And I may even zoom in a little bit more on him because he looked real sad. So I'm going to pull it back over to my son's view. Hold on. Yes, I have some bad news. We have about 2 more hours to drive to get to our hotel. Is that okay? And so what I'm doing here is the integrity of the video is saved, but now I'm swapping back and forth between them. So I may split it again, and this piece may bring it back over to my daughter, who is very animated. That's a long time, ain't it? All right, and now I can just keep going back and forth and pulling it back over, back and forth between them. We're going to, and right here where they're both need to be seen, because I'm going to tell them we're going to Disney, there's a couple of options that I can do. I can bring it in to where you can see them both, and then I can add something to the background. We'll talk about that. But you'll see how it snaps into place where it's centered. Y'all see that line? It's very faint, but it pops up to let me know it's centered. We're going to. Okay, so what I have done essentially, and I'm going to split this and I'm just going to delete the end so y'all see. What I have done essentially is, let me pull off that first part. Yes, I have some bad news. So what I have done essentially is go back and forth between the two of them, and then I zoomed out just enough. Now, you guys that have been with me for a while, if I wanted the whole video of both of them, it's probably easier to drop this video in Canva and then add a background. But I love the back and forth between the two of them, and it's super easy to do right here inside of CapCut. So I just want to make sure that you guys kind of understand that's why I did the back and forth between them. But if I wanted the whole video of them together, I would probably edit it inside of Canva so that I can put something in the background. Now I can put something in the background. And I'm going to go to y'all's questions. Just give me a second. But it's a little bit more complex. And to do that here, let me pull this up just a little bit so you guys can see. Now to put something here, I would really probably want to do like an overlay. And let me find the overlay over here. Let me see. Copy. Overlay is a little bit easier on my phone too, so I want to make sure I find that correct. Oh yeah, so yes, 3x4 for carousel videos. Glad that you got that. And 9x16 for reels. So here, I think I can import something. Let me just see real quick. See if I can grab a photo. I'm just gonna grab any random photo to see if I can, nope, it's just trying to replace it. Hold on, because overlay is a little bit easier. And I may have to show y'all that on Wednesday when I'm doing it from my phone. Because it's not wanting to let me do that here. All right, we'll go over that a little bit later. But basically, like, even if I wanted a transition here. Yes, I have some. So at the end of a video, let me undo that. I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. Right here, I can add a transition to these. So these transitions, this is more for when you're doing like a complex going back and forth. So I don't want y'all to think, oh, I have to have these. Transitions are much more appreciated when you're doing like a voiceover. But let's just say you wanted to, you could add in this transition. So how it goes, and it would just kind of shift from one to the other. You can, and a lot of these are free. Again, you'll notice there's no diamond on these. And so you can kind of just look through and see which ones are free that you can use.
Hotel.
So we'll add this one. I think we changed that. So you've got a lot of different features here if you want to use transitions. With your basic talking videos, they're not needed as much. I just want y'all to clarify, like they're not needed as much. And I know that comes up a lot, but they're not needed as much, okay? Another piece is especially like the different volumes and stuff. So when I get down here and they say we're going to Disney World, it's loud. So I may want to go in and adjust their volume. I may want to bring it down. You can also, this is a pro feature, but you can normalize loudness. So like if you were doing a voiceover and one part you're a little softer and one part you're a little louder, you can make it where the video it kind of makes the sound the same volume, and that's where you normalize the loudness. So I really like that feature. I tend to start off a voiceover really low, and by the end I'm shouting or I'm yelling, and so I like my volume to be the same across the board, okay? So that's one of the features I really like. There's also other things here. Reduced noise is one of my favorite pro features. I know. But if I don't have a microphone, and y'all can hear it right here, hold on. And y'all hear kind of like the background or like the cars around us, because I didn't have a microphone. If I was to reduce the noise, that would help. So I'm gonna just show y'all the difference.
That's a long time, ain't it? Because we're going to.
And like I said, it's sometimes very simple, but you can hear kind of the background noise just kind of go away in that, okay? All right. We've talked about speed. Oh, one other thing too. Oh, that's a great question. So that's what I was saying is I zoomed out here. For one, the video starts full screen. So this is a great question Shanquelle brought up. Am I going to make any adjustments to the video size because there's black at the bottom at the end? So I started the video in full screen. It continues in full screen. The last clip has a little bit of blackness. Probably what I would do here is just add the text there. And so instead of trying to, again, if I wanted to edit it where it was just big like this, I would do it inside of Canva so that I could add something to the background. Actually did already edit it in Canva because I actually have it ready to post for our Disney review. So I'll show y'all that. I'll show y'all that really quickly. Let me stop share here and share this. So inside of Canva, what I have done is I have made images in the background and I just have the video in the middle. So that's what I mean by if I wanted the whole video shown, but I didn't want to separate it into parts, I would do it like this. So if you have videos that are widescreen and you want to give something in the background, not the black screen, a really great way to do that is in Canva. I've already shown y'all in the society how to do this, so I'm not going through this tonight. But if you have not watched that training, go watch it, okay? All right, let me go back over to CapCut. All right, so yeah, I would totally just add text on the screen there and just make it that simple. That's probably what I would do. Now, one of the things that I did want to make sure you guys saw tonight before we head into Q&A is the slow zoom effect, okay? So give me 1 second and we're going to turn on my ability to do that. So let me go into keyframe. It's a lot easier to do on your phone. I will say that too. So give me just a second to put the keyframe on. Make sure I know which one it is here. Because I may have to do this on my phone for you guys on Wednesday. There is a feature that will zoom for you, but I much rather prefer the keyframe option. It just looks better, and then I have a little bit more control over it, okay? So let me see if it'll let me add it here. It is not, hold on. Because I had it pulled up earlier. All right. It should be in, not in here. It may not let me add the keyframe. It's gonna make me upset here, but there is a keyframe, and I will show y'all how to do that on mobile. But basically, what you're doing when you're adding a keyframe at the beginning of a clip, you would hit the keyframe. It's a marker like this, and then at the end, you would. I don't even see the. Maybe it's over here. Let me see if it's over here real quick. I know how to add stickers. Yeah, it's not letting me select the keyframe. So instead of doing that, I will go into stickers. This is kind of like an overlay. One of the things I love, actually, let's open up another project real quick before we go into stickers. I really get confused with keyframe. Okay, yeah, and you need to see it fully for it to make sense. Keyframe is my favorite thing, but you definitely need to see it fully for it to make sense. But I want to show you guys some of these stickers really quickly. Oh, CapCut. All right, so stickers and overlay are basically the same. You could add in your own stickers here, so this could be an overlay. But a lot of times, like when I'm doing a demo of something, I like to use stickers because it's going to help. And as you can see, let me add that. You choose how long you want the sticker to be on the video. So if I'm trying to tell people, make sure you hit record, then I may have it on the video for this long. So it's circling that record button. And then if I want it to go away, obviously I put where it's going away at. But this is a lot of times how you see people doing, like pointing at something or showcasing something, especially if you're doing trainings or something, then this is a lot of times where people use those little like arrows. If you're doing a YouTube video and you see people having the subscribe button at the end, they're literally using stickers like this to add to it, or like an arrow that's pointing somewhere. A lot of these stickers are pro stickers, so I do want to clarify that they are paid. But in your phone, it's a lot easier for you to filter out what level the sticker is, meaning if it's free or paid. I don't know why it doesn't let us sort them into that here, but yes, you could do that here. There's also frames, there's stuff for fashion. So if when we go to Wednesday and we start going into, when people are having stuff pop up on the screens, I want y'all to just be aware of the basics. A lot of times they're starting with here, and then they're going into adding these stickers in, okay? I'm gonna just delete that. You also do have filters. I do not like an overly filtered video personally. But if you do want to use filters, there are some pro filters. There's also some not pro filters. You're just gonna have to sort through them. And you can see kind of, I want this to look more like a movie, and you automatically see how it changed the video by just adding that filter. So it looks a little bit more movie-ish. You'll also see there are different, if you want to do more of a darker one, moody, like there's lots of different filters. Again, personally, I don't use them a lot, but I do know, depending on your niche, fashion especially, a lot of times filters can help. You can also not use a filter and just go in and adjust the video, meaning there's some pro features, color correction, color match, but you can also go through yourself and say, I want this video to be a little warmer. I want this video to be a little brighter. I want this video to have less highlights, more shadows. So this is just like editing a photo. If you've taken a Lightroom class with me, which I do have as well, there's the same thing you can do here. You can add a vignette. You can take off the vignette. You can do a lot of those features here for free. And a lot of people just don't realize that. So if you have a really dark video and you're trying to brighten it up some, obviously make sure you're using light when you're recording. But things like this will really greatly help you to adjust the video and make sure it's a little bit clearer. And then again, if you have Pro, there are some auto adjustment features that you can be using as well. You can go into the color wheel. This is getting a little bit more intense and it's a pro feature, but if you do know how to edit and you're a master at editing, you can use some of these features here, but most of the time you just need the basics. And again, these are free. So the basics editing features are completely free, okay? All right, so now that you know about these basic kind of editing the video itself, we've also talked through, making sure that you understand how to put your videos into it. Once you have your video where you want it at, you need to export it. Now, let me tell y'all a tip. We're going to go through it on Wednesday. But if you go through a video and you use a template, if you have TikTok, there's going to be an option to export to TikTok and you're going to remove the watermark. Always, always choose that. There's no reason for you to have a watermark on your video. And so you want to export it to TikTok on your phone and it will allow for you to export it and it'll open up TikTok, but you don't have to post it there. So I just wanted to give you guys that kind of feature, just so you know. But yeah, you'll just hit export here. And then you're able to kind of just go into your video. Now, one of the things I love, and we're going to talk about it a little bit more on Wednesday too, if you had captions on a video, like let's just say you had a long video and you had captions. If you have Pro, you can select to export that caption, meaning let's say you have a 3-minute video where you're explaining something. A lot of times, and this is a trick, y'all, I will export the captions with a video. I'll show y'all an example. And then I'll drop the captions inside of ChatGPT. And I'm like, based on this video, write an Instagram caption for this video. It is one of my favorite hacks to use. Matter of fact, let me show y'all just an example of one I would use that on. And so let's see. Trying to find one that's a little bit longer. Oh, yep, here's a good one. This is one of my clients. It's like a 2-minute video. So let me share my screen again. So this was one of my clients. We, of course, use captions. For those of you who do not know, when you use captions, it does give you the option to go through, if you have the Pro version, to go through and remove filler words. So y'all see how her video is chopped up here? The chopped up pieces is because we removed the filler words that she was saying. So I've already removed them, but there's a little place called remove filler words. And you would just click on that and it would go through, and any filler words, ahs, they would remove those automatically for you. And as you can see, I have the hook already on here. I have captions. So when I go to export this video, at the bottom, I'm also going to select to export the captions as text. Now, if you're doing YouTube videos, you can export them as SRT, and then that's going to allow for you to upload your captions into YouTube. So I'm not a YouTuber yet, but I know that feature as well. So if you want the captions exported when you also export for those longer videos, this is a really good way for you to do that. And then again, take those captions, the text, drop them in the ChatGPT. You've already got your caption for your video. It's going to give you a really good caption, or whatever you use. I know y'all like to use Claude and all these other platforms, Gemini, but just kind of dropping that as an overview, okay? You can also edit covers inside of here. So if you want to download a cover photo for your video, you can do that from the video here as well. So if you're scheduling, which I encourage a lot of you to do, you can schedule and already have a video that you like. Find a spot in the video that you like and then hit save that. Or you can create a whole new one inside of Canva. So I do that too. So in general, that's like all the features that you can use, the basic features. We're going to go a little bit deeper on Wednesday, but I need y'all to have foundation because a lot of y'all don't have the foundational knowledge and you're asking questions. So before we wrap up tonight, we're going to have time for Q&A, and I will do a video demo of the keyframe inside of CapCut. I don't know why it's not letting me do it on my computer. I've had issues with that over and over with keyframe. But I do want to be able to have time for Q&A for you guys to answer your questions. And also, if you are wanting to use a free version of Pro, I'll email it out to y'all too, but I just dropped the link here for you guys to be able to use free version 7 days. You don't have to put a card in. Should be completely free for 7 days if you're and also utilize it from the web, guys. That's the other piece. And then for those of you who for some reason are not in the society, I would love to have you guys come and join us. It's free for 14 days. And it's just a really good space. I know it's, of course, renamed the Society for Black Girls. That's because for one, we don't have a lot of spaces for us, but this space is for women who are looking to grow and build their own place and have a safe space for us, okay? For us to learn and grow. So I did drop that link for y'all too. Free 14 days is available if you want to come and join us. But y'all, drop your questions or come off mute. You should be able to come off mute if you have questions. I know my ladies in the society always have some really good questions. So let me make sure that I have made it available for you to unmute yourself and ask your questions. Oh, thank you, Sabrina. Welcome. Make sure I'm saying your name. Is it Chandria? So glad that you're in. You are in the right spot. Okay, good. I said it right. Y'all know I'm very big. One of my main things, I got to say your name right because I hate when someone says my name wrong. What other questions do y'all have? What are y'all editing or working on right now?
Hey Alicia, this is Shanquelle. Good evening.
Hey, girl.
I have a question. That was my husband clapping. I'm sorry.
You're fine.
Okay, so and I don't know if this is gonna be something that you're gonna do on Wednesday, but I was interested in doing one of those videos. I think this was one of the ones where you did for Joy, where you were showing the glow up or the grow up. You know what I mean? Where you were like the transition from what her follows was to what it is. Like, and I want to know how to do that because I had an idea, but I just don't know how to do the edit.
Oh yeah, of course. So that is I don't want to say it's a simple one, but it is. You're gonna take the 2 videos and let's go through it. Let me pull up a file and we'll just do a new project with that. So let me pull that up. While I'm waiting, I did see Chandria's hands. So you go ahead and unmute, girl, and then that way you can go while I'm pulling this up.
Hi, yeah, I'm excited to be here. Let me open my camera. Sorry.
Oh, girl, you're fine. Hey.
Hey, I am actually in the Atlanta area, so I am local to you. Yeah, I've been following you for a few months and I saw you were in Columbus. So I was like, oh man, she does a lot of stuff in Atlanta. My struggle, as I put in the comment, is the hooks part. And I'm not afraid to try different things. I've been creating content for 3 years, but I'm trying to switch it up to do more attraction for brands because my background is radiology technology. So it's really that. But I'm bringing more of my lifestyle into it. So I've got one that I'm posting this week and it took me all day to edit that thing. But my struggle still is that hook at the beginning either is too long or I'm going to go through your hooks program because they said it was great. I've already signed up, but what?
I'll tag you in it too.
Okay. Yeah. I'm just wondering, like, what is the main thing I need to think about when it comes to my hooks?
So with hooks, obviously for one, you always have to think about your target audience. And I tell people this all the time, like, what do they need and what's making them stay on the video? So give me an example of one of the videos that something you talk about in your videos. Just give me pie in the sky example.
Being called button pushers and people not really knowing who we are, but you know.
Ooh, I love that first off, because girl, so many ideas come to mind. But I think in general, you're telling me that your content is now also for other people that are in your field, or are you trying to spread awareness?
So that's why I got to get a little more specific. So you hit the nail on the head. And my content is for people in the medical imaging profession to encourage them to really understand what they do and be confident in what they do and speak up more, but also to educate people about who we are within the healthcare field and outside, because people assume we're nurses and we're not.
I love that. So you basically have two kind of very target audiences, and your content is going to be focused on you. Stop trying to fit them both into one. When you do content, understand that sometimes this content is going to be for this group to encourage so that they are aware. And sometimes it's going to be for, I need my people who are like me to understand we are not button pushers. And so maybe like if you had a video that was like how to respond, maybe it's like the next time you get called a button pusher, ... And then the video talks through how you're not a button pusher or whatever it may be. But then also for the awareness side of things, this could be even doctors and people that are in the medical field who just somewhat, I don't want to say look down, but someone like who's like, well, I'm a doctor. Well, come on. I know exactly the audience you're trying to reach. And so in general, what you want to do is make sure with your hooks that you show some compassion for those that are not your people in your field. But then you also turn on that negativity. How would it feel if someone came to your job and said XYZ about you?
Oh,
So, that negativity, you got to make it both ways. So it just really flows. Now, one of the good things, you're in the society now. So when you're getting ready to do a video, you can just take a screenshot of the video and say, does this hook make sense? Would this catch your attention? And all these lovely ladies and I will comment and give you feedback. So that's a positive. But it really just depends on who your audience is for that. And we have a lot of people in the healthcare field that are in the society, as well as that's my target who I serve is those in the healthcare field. So happy to help you with that.
Wow. Okay. Well, I hit the right place. Good. I'm excited. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. So welcome. Now I want to go into Shanquel's question. I may have to go pull that exact video because I don't remember which reveal I used, but let me share my screen for CapCut and then we'll kind of talk through it. So this was a video shoot I did with Bianca. So let's just say in general, this is the first half. So I'm going to split it here. And then I want to go to the second half and unsplit it. All right. So there is a reveal transition. I just got to find it. I may be able to search for it. Reveal. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Hold on. Yeah, I know when I'm typing, when I'm on live, it's always spelled wrong. Let's see. Reveal. Slice reveal. No, I don't want that. Where is just a regular reveal? I'm gonna have to find the exact one that I used, but there is maybe a swipe reveal. Oh boy, still spelling stuff wrong. All right, I think this is it. Okay. Let me add it. So it would be like that, but what I'm also going to do is the duration, make it longer. So depending on what the video, I'm going to mute it real quick. So it's basically a wipe left or a wipe right, depending on which way I may want it to wipe right. Let me delete this one, see if I can get a wipe right. And this one's free. All right, cool. Got a wipe right. So I'm gonna replace it with this. Is that the one I wanted? Yes, okay. All right, so now again, do I want it to be long? I can go in and say I want it to be short. And so basically in general, you have the start of the video, what you want them to see before, and then the wipe right to be able to reveal it. You could do wipe left, but I like the right because it goes from the beginning. So that's just a transition that effect, Shanquelle. Does that make sense on how to use it with the two videos?
It does. It seems like I think your video was slower. So like, are you slowing that down?
Yeah, so you would just take and slow this like way down. And
Okay.
you can make it longer. You can make it longer. Now, the other piece too is if you can't make it the duration longer, and I'll just show you this really quickly. Let me export this as a video. Okay, and let me open it up. Okay, cancel here. All right, so I'm gonna go through and delete this. Then I'm gonna pull this video in. So this is the video we just did where I did this. So now if I wanted this to go really slow, I could hit trim here, and then I select the piece and I'd go to speed and just slow it way down. So then the reveal part is slower. That's another way that you can make it really slow too.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. Really great questions, y'all. Really, really good questions. Any other questions to wrap us up tonight? I got like 3 minutes before y'all know I have my 5 a.m. gym class starting back tomorrow, and I'm struggling through the process of waking up that early tomorrow. Okay. Well, for those of you that are already in the society, you know, on Mondays, we have our 9 a.m. prayer call. This is not, while we are not a faith-based organization, we do have a lot of women of faith. And so at 9 a.m. Every Monday, we have our prayer call. Last Monday, a lot of you, I hope, enjoyed reading through my prayer while I was on vacation. But we have 9 a.m. prayer call tomorrow. Tuesday, we have open office hours. So if you have questions, you just want anything answered on Tuesday at 12 noon, there are office hours. We have every month we have daytime office hours, and then we have evening office hours. So if you can't make the daytime, we have an evening session that is later on in the month. And then you can also ask questions in the group at any time. And then on Wednesday, we have our next CapCut training that is deeper. Every training we do is recorded and it is dropped into the society within 24 hours after the live. So if you missed anything tonight, I would love to see you inside. Once I post the replay, I will also share that PDF document that's kind of walking you through some of these steps we did tonight, because some people need it written down as well. But if you have questions, y'all, send me a DM, send me an email, however you need to, and I'll be happy to help you guys, okay? You're welcome, girl. You're so welcome. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. I will see you inside the society and on Instagram. Bye, y'all.